My neighbor demanded I let her use my guest room for her visiting relatives because you live alone, you don't need the space. When I refused, she tried to break in while I was at work and claimed, I thought you'd be generous. My security alarm sent an alert as I pulled up the camera feed and said, then let's see how generous the judge feels. I live alone in a quiet neighborhood in Austin, Texas. After retiring early from my job in ID, I settled into a peaceful routine in my modest 3-bedroom home. One of the bedrooms I converted into a home office, and the other serves as a guest room for the occasional visitor. A few months ago, a new neighbor, whom I'll call Brenda, moved in next door. She's in her late 40s, with a commanding presence and an air of entitlement that became apparent soon after her arrival. One afternoon, as I was tending to my garden, Brenda approached me with a request. Hey there, she began. I have some relatives coming into town next week, and we're a bit short on space. I was wondering if they could stay in your guest room for a few days. I was taken aback. I'm sorry, but I don't feel comfortable having strangers in my home. She frowned. But you live alone, and it's just sitting there unused. Can't you be a little generous? I reiterated my stance, emphasizing my need for privacy and security. She walked away, muttering something about selfishness. A week later, while I was out running errands, I received an alert from my home's security system. The motion detectors had been triggered, and the cameras showed Brenda attempting to open my back door with a set of keys. She had a suitcase in tow and was accompanied by 2 teenagers. I immediately called the police and headed home. Upon arrival, the officers were already speaking with Brenda, who claimed she thought I had agreed to let her relatives stay. I confronted her. Brenda, I never gave you permission to enter my home. She shrugged. I thought you'd be generous. I looked at the officers. Then let's see how generous the judge feels. Brenda was arrested for attempted burglary, and I pressed charges. The court proceedings were straightforward, thanks to the clear video evidence from my security system. Brenda was found guilty of attempted unlawful entry and was fined. She also received a restraining order, preventing her from coming within 100 feet of my property. The neighborhood buzzed with gossip about the incident, and Brenda's reputation took a hit. She eventually moved out, unable to face the community's judgment. This experience taught me the importance of setting boundaries and the value of a good security system. While I never expected such audacity from a neighbor, I'm grateful for the swift justice and the return to peace in my home. Brenda was gone for about 3 weeks after the court date. Her car wasn't in the driveway, no lights on at night, mailbox stuffed. For a while, I figured she'd moved. Maybe she couldn't face the embarrassment. I started to feel normal again. I got back into my routine, morning coffee on the porch, tending to my tomato plants, taking long walks. Then one night around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to my phone buzzing like crazy. Security alert. Motion detected by the side gate. I tapped the live feed and saw a shadow, someone trying to get in again. Hoodie, gloves, same path Brenda used when she tried breaking in before. Only this time, they had a crowbar. I called the cops right away, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear the operator. They were there in under 10 minutes, but the person was already gone. Nothing taken, just a busted latch on the gate, and some deep scratches on the doorframe. It looked like they were trying to pry it open. I sent the footage to the detective who worked my case. He recognized the gate, said it matched Brenda. The way she walked, how she turned her head. But the hoodie made it impossible to ID her clearly. No arrest. No warrant. Just a suggestion. Keep your cameras rolling. Upgrade your locks. I was furious. Not scared, angry. She was playing games, thinking I'd back off. I didn't. I installed more lights, better locks, upgraded my cameras to 4K with audio. I even got a doorbell cam that announced visitors. And I posted the footage online in a local watch group. I didn't name her, but people put 2 and 2 together. Comments blew up with similar stories. Neighbors complaining about missing Amazon packages, strange knocks in the middle of the night, someone watching kids walk home from the school bus. A week later, I got a call from a guy claiming to be Brenda's cousin. He said she was having a hard time, and that I should let it go. I told him I wasn't interested and hung up. 10 minutes later, another call, different number, same voice. I blocked both. Then texts started. Vague threats, weird messages like, "You're gonna wish you were nicer," and "That room's gonna be mine one way or another." I reported it again. The police said unless there was physical harm, or something stolen, there wasn't much they could do. I started sleeping with my bedroom door locked and a bat next to my bed. About 5 nights later, there was a loud crash outside. I jumped up, grabbed my phone, opened the feed. Someone had thrown a rock through my living room window. They didn't try to come in, just shattered it and ran. This time I had a full face shot. Not Brenda, but a teenage boy. One of the same teens who'd been with her during the first break-in. The cops picked him up that morning. He confessed under pressure, said Brenda put him up to it. Promised him a couple $100 and said it was just to scare me. Now they had enough to bring her back in. Except she was gone. Skipped town. Her house was empty. She broke her lease. Landlord found rotting food in the fridge, broken furniture, and a list of handwritten notes in the trash. Names, addresses. Mine was circled in red. Underlined. 3 times. Then something happened that took this whole mess from annoying to terrifying. My dog, Duke, a 10-year-old German Shepherd, got sick. Real sick. Lethargic, drooling, vomiting nonstop. Took him to the vet. Blood work came back. Rat poison. I don't keep rat poison. I don't even have a pest problem. Vet said it had to be recent, within the last 24 hours. I checked my yard, and behind the bushes near the back fence, I found a small piece of hot dog. Cut open and stuffed with blue-green pellets. I broke down right there. Police opened an investigation. The teenage boy's phone had texts from a burner number. Messages like, "Did you do it yet?" and "Make sure the dog doesn't bark next time." No one's found Brenda yet. The detective thinks she's staying with someone out of state. Probably under a fake name. But now the case isn't just trespassing or harassment, it's felony animal cruelty, attempted poisoning, and conspiracy to commit property damage. My neighbors put up cameras after that. We all talk more now. We keep an eye out. I installed a floodlight with a motion sensor so bright it lights up half the block. Every noise at night makes me jump. Every shadow makes my chest tighten. I still don't feel safe. She's out there somewhere. Watching or planning. Maybe both. And something tells me she's not finished. A few days after Duke came home from the vet, still weak but slowly recovering, I got a letter in the mail with no return address. Just a single sheet of lined paper, handwritten in red ink. The words were short, shaky, but unmistakable. "Should have let me use the room. Hope your dog likes pain." My hands were shaking when I read it. I brought it to the detective handling the case. They sent it in for prints, handwriting analysis, the whole works. But with no envelope, no camera footage of the mailbox, and a wiped down paper, it didn't give them much. But it did confirm what I already knew: Brenda was still watching. Still obsessed. And she had no intention of stopping. I started digging into her background myself. The name she used on the lease matched her ID, but there was barely anything online. No LinkedIn, no Facebook. But I did find a Reddit account linked to an old blog comment with the same username. And what I found there blew my mind. She posted in forums for squatting. Not just advice, detailed guides. Steps on how to move into empty homes, fake rental agreements, forge utility bills. Dozens of comments across years under threads like, "How to stay in a house without paying rent," and "Tips for when the landlord calls the cops." And even more disturbing, stories. Descriptions of people she had convinced to let her stay. Same pattern. Guilt-tripping, fake sympathy, manipulation. One post from about a year ago said, Sometimes you gotta push people. Make them break before they give. Nobody needs a whole house to themselves anyway. It felt like she'd practiced on others before me. Then I remembered something. Right after she first moved in, I saw a man stop by her place for a couple of hours, bald, wore an old army jacket. He never came back. At the time, I assumed it was a mover or a handyman. But now it didn't sit right. I asked around. Turns out, he used to live in the same rental before her. He moved out fast, left stuff behind, too. One neighbor said he just got up and ran. So I tracked him down through a post in a local Facebook group. He agreed to meet. We sat at a coffee shop, and I told him about Brenda. His face went pale before I even finished. She did it to you too, he said. She tried to take the place over. Claimed she had squatters' rights. Said I owed her the second bedroom. Then she started leaving the back door open, moving her things into other rooms. I couldn't handle it. Landlord didn't believe me at first. Took me getting a lawyer just to break my lease. It wasn't just me. It was her pattern. After that meeting, I sent all the info to the detective. They reopened her case under a wider scope: potential fraud, identity theft, housing scams. But still, no trace of her. Then something new happened. I got a knock on my door, middle of the day. A woman I'd never seen before. Late 30s, looked tired, holding a baby on her hip. "Hi, sorry to bother you," she said. "Do you know where Brenda is?" She told me she used to live here. Said I could stay if I needed a place. I didn't say a word. Just stared at her. She looked confused. She posted in a mom's group, said she had a guest room. Even sent pictures of your house. She showed me the messages. My guest room. My furniture. My dog in the background of one photo. I told her the truth. The woman looked horrified. Said she'd been texting Brenda for 2 weeks. Thought she finally caught a break after months of couch hopping. That same night, I found another message taped to my door. "You keep ruining good things for people. This won't end the way you want." The police took it more seriously this time. They believe she's using different phones, different social media accounts, probably changing locations every few days. But she's not disappearing. She's circling. It's been a war of silence now. No glass broken, no motion alerts. Just random cars parked a little too long across the street. A couple of times I came home and felt like something was moved, like the mailbox was closed too neatly, or the gate had fresh fingerprints. Nothing I could prove. Nothing the cops could act on. But I feel it. She's not done. And I won't be the one breaking. A month passed. No more letters. No strange knocks. I started to think maybe she'd finally moved on. Maybe the cops were closing in, and she went underground. I was sleeping a little better. Duke was healing. I stopped jumping at every creak in the floor. Then I got the call. The detective wanted me to come in. They found her. Not through phones or mail or cameras. Through a dumb mistake, she posted a selfie with a fake name on an old burner Reddit account. She bragged about getting back what was hers, with a blurry background that showed a mural only found at a gas station outside Houston. Someone saw it, reported it, and boom, location pinned. They got a warrant. They raided the house she was staying at. She wasn't alone. 2 other women, 3 kids, and a garage full of stolen packages, mail, credit card skimmers, and notebooks full of fake names, addresses, and social security numbers. She'd gone full scam artist. When they arrested her, she laughed. Actually laughed. She told them I was just another man guarding an empty cage, and that I brought this on myself by denying her a roof. That's when something cracked in me. Because for a moment, I believed her. I believed that maybe if I'd just let her use the room, Duke wouldn't have been poisoned, my house wouldn't be on watch lists, and I wouldn't be living like a prisoner in my own home. But then I remembered every moment I'd spent afraid. Every time I came home not knowing what I'd find. Every time I saw my dog hurting and couldn't do anything but wait. Every time she used another person as a pawn. And how she never once stopped. I testified at her trial. Laid it all out, the footage, the threats, the poisoning, the fake guests, the moms she lured online, the scam trail. The jury saw the pattern. So did the judge. She got 15 years. No parole for the first 7. But that's not where it ends. After her sentencing, her cousin, the same one who called me before, showed up at my house. He didn't threaten me. He didn't yell. He just stood there, looking hollow. "You broke her," he said. "She used to be different." I stared at him. "She tried to kill my dog." He nodded slowly. "Yeah. And you made sure everyone knew it." He left. The next morning, I found dead rats nailed to my fence. 3 of them. The police took it seriously. This time, they caught the guy. Not Brenda's cousin. Another drifter tied to her through some homeless encampment outside the city. Said she promised him money if he sent me a message. Told him I ruined her life. So I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I went public. Not just the neighborhood app or Reddit. I talked to a reporter. Local news. I gave them everything. The court records, the footage, the messages, the photos, even Duke's vet bills. They ran a full segment. Homeowner survives targeted harassment campaign by neighbor turned squatter scammer. It went viral. People started coming forward. Brenda had done this in 4 other states. Different names, same patterns. She never stayed long enough to get caught. Until now. They reopened old cases. The federal investigators stepped in. And just like that, I wasn't the victim anymore. I was the witness who helped bring down a serial predator hiding behind housing laws and sympathy cards. I still live alone. The guest room's still empty. But now, people knock on my door to say thank you. They bring treats for Duke. They ask me to speak at neighborhood meetings, to help others spot signs before it's too late. But I don't feel proud. I feel tired. Because here's the truth I can't shake. I should have pressed harder the first time she crossed the line. I should have reported her the second she tried to guilt me. I gave her room to grow because I didn't want conflict. And I learned that some people don't just take inches, they take everything unless you stop them cold. Brenda made a lot of mistakes. But I did too. I mistook silence for peace. Never again.